It's a matter of self-reliance. Police
Absolutely.
don't always show up.
Absolutely. They're not going to.
In the poorer neighborhoods.
They're not going to show up in poor neighborhoods. They're not going to show up in rural neighborhoods because we underfund our police forces. They lack the training they properly need, and we don't have the type of officers we need in the community.
Mike, I couldn't agree with you more in terms of equal rights. I mean, let's face it, this is not a country that has distinguished itself with regard to equal rights on racial basis. But there's a difference between that point, I think, and maintaining that we have to get rid of assault weapons. We've got to have universal background checks.
Well,
I mean, that's absolutely critical.
This is, when you say that's absolutely...
Why is that critical?
Yeah, why is that
Why is that critical? Because one of the problems that gun people have with liberals talking about guns is that liberals don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about guns.
At all.
I'm not a gun expert. I don't like guns. I've said many times I have a gun because self-reliance. Okay, and the police might not get there, yada, yada, yada. But I mean, there was, I think, only 400 deaths from all types of rifles last year.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that is the key issue. It's a big applause break for liberals when you say assault weapons. But you know, the Virginia Tech shooting was the biggest one ever,
handgun.
I think, and that was a handgun.
And you're saying to a population of people, and I know you will understand me on this, you're saying to a population of people, this guy's a tyrant, you're living under the tyrannical times, and you're comparing him to Adolf Hitler. When you do that to my community, I must take it seriously. I must take it seriously because not only am I seeing gun violence around crime and poverty in my community, I'm seeing officers of the state murder my children, murder my women. So when we start to say tyranny could never happen, if you're African American, tyranny is happening now.
Absolutely.
Not happening. Not potentially happening. We are being murdered at a higher rate and engaged by agents of the state. And when we say assault weapons, we ignore the fact that the Second Amendment says in case of tyranny. If a soldier or a cop can own a version of an AR-15, I'm not comfortable in a country where I'm being asked to de-arm and they are not.
Well, here's what, let me just say. In terms of assault weapons,
there are no such things also. There are rifles that look scary, and there are ones that
they were defined in 1994 in the assault weapons ban, which went into effect, and I was there, and all I know is that for the 10 years, from 1994 to 2004, when the Republicans got rid of the assault weapons ban, there was a 42% drop in mass killings, defined as killings of 5 people or more at the same time. Now, you can define assault weapons any way you want, but I am just telling you we had a law. Yeah. Let's go back to that law.
That's fine.
But we come right back around to law and what law looks like when applied. In 1994, we also had a crime bill. That crime bill made 5 grams of crack, which is this big, equal to a half a brick of cocaine. I saw tons of black men and women wiped off the streets with sentences they didn't deserve simply because the leaders in the African-American community didn't say to their allies, stop, wait, let's see how that is going to affect me first. So this is a nation of laws. But again, to African-Americans, it is going to affect you first and worst if we simply jump on the bandwagon and say, pass all new laws.
But when you talk about tyranny, let me just say, as not an African-American,
house jokes.
I've been saying for a long time that Donald Trump is bringing fascism to this country. Madeleine Albright wrote an op-ed in the New York Times a few weeks ago saying the same thing. It said fascism is coming. Okay, you know, the shoe's on the other foot now. If you really believe that Donald Trump is an authoritarian leader capable of using force to suppress the opposition, I wonder if liberals are going to be rethinking their feelings about guns a little bit.
Well,
yes?
Bill,
and then
I mean, you know, you've got bottom feeders like Roger Stone and some of the other people associated with Trump who have been talking about a civil war if there's an impeachment. Well, I'm sorry. If we don't stand, and I'm talking about progressives, liberals, people who care about this country, if we don't stand for the rule of law, we don't have anything left.
Right. Okay.